My name is Yagazi Obi-Wan Ozan. Hello, sir. Okay. All right, this morning on the Urban Parliament, we intend to look at an issue that borders on regional development with the Southeast in focus. We've said it time and time again, the need for regional integration and regional development, states working together, especially in the Southeast, to grow the region economically and otherwise. Regional cooperation has become an essential strategy for promoting sustainable development for Nigeria. We've seen, body language from the President Bola Tinubu administration in terms of trying to um, institute regional development commissions. But outside of all of that, there is, the need for the governors in the states to work together to see that the region is moving forward, right? Because regional cooperation enables neighboring states to pool resources, harmonize their policies, to share infrastructure and address their common social, economic, and security challenges, maybe that transcends all the political boundaries that exist. The Southeast geopolitical zone, comprising Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo states, possess significant capacity and potential. How much of that potential can be harnessed is a big question. We recently, a few weeks back, saw the Momentum Index report, which gained a lot of attention, and how it was one of the Southeast states, Enugu State in particular, that performed highest in terms of fiscal discipline, governance reforms, institutional capacity, which was what was measured in the Momentum Index report. Enugu State topping the charts there, and Abia State also coming in as third in the rankings. However, we saw states like Imo State ranking 32 out of 33. Ebonyi State was also low on the cadre, and there was Anambra that was somewhere, down there too, which calls for the need to look at how the region is cooperating in terms of the states in the region cooperating together to make sure that development is not something that happens in one isolated state, but becomes something that is um, engendering chain reaction across the five states in the south. And talking about the development commissions, we know of the Southeast Development Commission putting up an agenda, which is the Southeast Vision 2050, that is targeting an estimated 200 billion dollar economy in 10 years. Say the Southeast has about $40 billion economy right now, that they are pushing for a $200 billion economy in 10 years through industrialization, changing the infrastructure priorities, and then repairing the social structures in the region. So, how can the Southeast continue to move as one block, as one region, instead of as individual states? We'll delve into that conversation this morning, see what we can make of it. Join us because your inputs would also help us to, enrich this conversation. So, yes, I am not alone in the studio. I'll be having a guest join me this morning to dig into this. He's the Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the Ohanese Ndibo Worldwide, Mazi Bismarck Oji. Mazi, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on the Urban Parliament.
Good morning, Debai Onabolachi, Daluno.
Ayabola, thank you. Welcome to the program. So, yeah, I said this is a conversation on the need for, regional cooperation in development with the Southeast in focus. And I, mentioned the Momentum Index report by Phillips Consulting, 2026 Momentum Index report that, tried to analyze how much momentum that states have, and Southeast State came tops in that particular report, which is Enugu State. But then we had Imo State 32nd, we had Ebonyi State, I think it was 29 on that ranking,
Abia
and
third.
then Anambra, yes, but Enugu and Abia first and third. Regional cooperation, I also mentioned the Southeast Development Commission's Vision 2050 and the need to integrate the states and make sure that their priorities are, something that is harmonized. But first of all, what are your thoughts about how much momentum that you think that the Southeast has right now in terms of development?
Thank you, Yanks. Yes, I think the facts speak for itself.
Mm.
If in Nigeria, at least 2 or 3 for the Southeast states are among the top 4, Enugu came first, Jigawa second, and Abia third. It shows there's real momentum here. And then if you put that alongside the amount of revenue we have here, then I think Southeast deserves to give itself and government some commendation.
Okay.
Because must consider the revenue available. You get the point? Remember, Southeast is not like Lagos or Akwa Ibom or Delta with their oil monies and their huge IGR. And yet you've seen the momentum. And as I said earlier on, we are talking about facts.
Yeah.
These facts are not from any of the Southeast government, but from an external body. You get the point?
Yeah.
And nobody has so far doubted the authenticity of this report. So I'm saying, I'm glad with the momentum.
Okay.
But what's on ground now? Like on Monday, Governor Chukuma Soludo, the Anambra State governor, spoke at the Delta State
Investment forum or something.
investment and economic summit.
Yeah.
And he said his message was this: that this is time for what? Collaboration among states, and among the state and the federal levels.
Okay.
Then he said that Anambra and Delta were like sister states, because under the ease of being doing business report of the federal government, Asaba and Onitsha are soon like twins cities. Get the point? Because people live here and work the other way and all whatnot. So he now said there's need for collaboration even within the states as well. That is one. Then on the other hand too, about 2 weeks ago, Governor Oti from Abia State now mentioned the issue of the Eastern Regional Railway Network, which he said will include the states of Southeast and also some states in the south like I think Rivers and Akwa Ibom. And what's the essence? Access to the sea. Get the point?
Yeah.
Like I say, remember that what brought about this our Eastern Rail line was to be able to evacuate coal through the port of Port Harcourt to the overseas. So it all points at what? Regional collaboration, so that this momentum will cut across. And yet, I'm glad you mentioned the SCDC. Last year, was it last year or earlier this year? I think it was earlier this year.
Yeah, that the Development Commission.
Yes, around April thereabouts. Thank you. If you listen to Governor Peter Mbagi whole speech, he said his own was about how do we as the Southeast collaborate, and then have this shared prosperity. How do we grow higher? So I think that's the message which we need to imbibe. For me, the SCDC, like I say, That's this. Do I call it a spat or a quarrel? But it was healthy. It was then brought people's attention to what SCDC has been doing.
It's part.
Yes, I went to.
Where? Okay, with regards to the operations of the SCDC,
Yes,
is
it
that
now
what you say? Okay,
brought
yeah,
the
there was this
satellite on it,
controversy. Yes.
and I think it is healthy because the money in SCDC, when you go to Southeast, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So we should be able to say that's why they called up to that town meeting. As you remember, they tell us see what they want to do. So that is at least at the end of every quarter, they should tell us how far they've gone. Was in the past there was no such regional development corporation or commission. Then Tinubu signed it into law, right?
Yeah.
So whatever happens there, we should not blame Tinubu or Ababio.
So we should own it.
Yes, and then drive it even. So I'm saying, yeah, there's one thing that I expect is policy concurrence among the 5 Southeast states. You get the point? And that should be somewhere where the SCDC should have a desk. You get my point? They should look at this issue of policy concurrence. For instance, like I say, if you come to the aspect of education today, Enugu, Anambra, Abia, they have this smart school policy. But if you look at these 3 states, you see that what they term as smart school, we have some variants. Then Imo and Ebonyi, they've not yet gone into smart schools. So I would like to see a situation whereby across these 5 Southeast states, there's some kind of policy concurrence where somebody that graduated from a school in Ebonyi will be at par with somebody that graduated from a school in Abia and Anambra. The point.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm saying the various states. Like I said, smart schools is the intent now. So for me, Ebonyi and Imo ought to key in there. On the 3 states already as Abia, Enugu, and Anambra, there should be some kind of baseline of what should obtain as a smart school. You get the point?
Is it easy to get the government in those states to cooperate and agree on what the model is for maybe something like smart school?
But let me ask you, why shouldn't it be easy? Since they're all, yes, at the SCDC summit, and they all agreed to work together. Remember?
Yes.
They agreed that they work together. Okay.
Sign the communique.
Bless you, sir. So yes, we're just asking them to walk their talk. Okay. Out of the 5 states, 3 are already doing smart schools. Ebonyi is not doing. Imo is not doing. We ought to come on board too. And then the SCDC should have a desk to look at policies. Was there this saying that you can't reinvent the wheel and don't change the winning team. So smart school is the end thing today. You get the point? But then I want to say a situation whereby they come together, maybe they are commissioners of education, say how to get it harmonized. That, as I said, a child that graduated from Ebonyi and one graduated from Imo, they want some educational experience.
Okay.
Get the point. Then come away from that one. Then let's look at the issue of disability rights. Like I say, out of the 5 states in the zone, 4 have passed the disability law, except Ebonyi. Out of the 4 that have passed it, it's only Anambra that has a disability rights commission. Enugu,
I think Abia does.
I know as of this one I checked it, they don't yet.
I've met the.
No, I'm saying a commission.
Yeah, the man in charge of the Disability Commission in the states. I've met him once, sometime earlier this year. Yeah.
Okay, because I just checked it on my way here. They said 4 states have passed it, but only Anambra has a commission. But no, before we end, it can still be verified. So I'm saying the other Ebonyi should do what? Also pass it, because it's about the people who are living with challenges in our midst. You get the point?
Yeah.
And then Enugu, sometime 2 years back, I was part of an effort for us to have the commission in Enugu. So it's an ongoing effort, but it's necessary. Then you can also look at the issue of infrastructure. As you can see that the various states, they have their various focuses.
Yeah.
Of course, every state, every government has its own focus.
Yeah, priorities.
Yes, but one thing that is important, which I must, because like I say, even though I'm here as the deputy spokesman of Honest Endeavor worldwide, I'm also the convener, Southeast Good Governance Project SEGOP. Okay. And one thing which we are looking at under the civil society sector is this issue of abandoned projects.
Okay.
And that's where I must commend Governor Peter Bisimba. In fact, in the Southeast, he comes stops there, by Uti. in the issue of following up abandoned projects.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know why, but maybe it's a matter of ego. Most governments, when they come in, they want to start afresh. They forget old things.
Yeah.
But look at the International Conference Center. That was abandoned even by, around by after the government of
Chimamanda
Chimamanda
Ngozi. Yeah.
Ngozi, who that left office in 2007, right?
Mhm.
But today it is working, and it is generating revenue for the state.
Yeah.
Hmm? What of the issue of hotel presidential that got abandoned under Suleiman Chime? Today is back on stream. All right.
Okay.
And before it used to be an eyesore, being very at the heart of the city, but today it has become, in fact, it was brought up to let me 4 star or even if I should say 5 star standard.
Mhm.
Like I say, what of the issue of Niger gas? We know of that one now. In
Yeah.
Nemene, it has now come back on stream now. It now supplies both hospital gas and domestic gas. It's running.
Mhm.
I can mention several others.
Yeah.
Government has likewise also helped in that regard. You get the point?
Okay.
Yes. So after comes Abia, then Ebonyi. Currently now there's this issue of Niger Sem that has been abandoned for so long,
Yeah.
But now Governor Muifu, he's bringing back on stream. When last I checked, the issue was the issue of which name it will be. You get the problem. At least the issue is that it's been revived. I think as if I should take that one further.
Mhm.
Under Chimoroke, there was a time the Enugu State government wanted to have their own cement industry. At Amechi Dodo. Because the cement deposit, limestone deposit runs from Ebonyi and Kalago across border into Enugu, that's Amechi Dodo. My idea is this: instead of trying to set up different companies, there can be a joint company that will service the whole of the Southeast region. Get the point? So I'm talking about collaboration between Ebonyi and Enugu. They can work out the framework and the percentages. Because Enugu has so much untapped limestone there at Amechi Dodo. So that if it's done jointly, because when Niger was started in the 60s, we just had one eastern region.
Okay.
You get the point? So the issue of abandoned project is key. That if you go to Anambra, if you go to Imo as well, we would like to see where projects started by previous governments are completed. Because once you don't do that, governments get wasted. You remember that government is meant to be a continuum. So today, you can see I'm talking of the Abia, Anambra, Enugu, Imo, Ebonyi State government, not individual governors.
Yeah.
Because government is what? A continuum. So that issue of abandoned project is something that I urge, possibly even the SCDC should work with the civil society sector and follow up on, because within the South, there are so many abandoned projects.
All right. One thing I would like to ask is the SEDC, consulting with maybe the Ohanese Ndibo as the Apex Socio-Cultural Igbo group in terms of, drafting development agendas, because we talked about that vision 2050, which they say they want to push the economy to $200 billion economy in 10 years. It's a huge ambition, and they're talking about economic expansion, infrastructure priorities, and repairing the social structures. I don't know where Ohanese particularly will come in more, maybe in the repair of what binds us together as a people, as a homogeneous people. But you talked about Ebonyi State not following through in the education
Smart schools.
vanguard that we have now in terms of
Ebonyi
building smart schools
and
and
Imo.
all of that, Imo, and that kind of thing. Where does Ohanese come in terms of communicating what the development agenda should be? Because the Ohanese, even though it's not just for the Southeast, but the Southeast forms the majority of what makes up Ohanese and Debo. Where do you come in here?
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, when last I checked, the SCDC is yet to have, do I call it an engagement with Ohanese.
Okay.
They had to. And I think it's important going forward. Because Ohanese is like the conscience of the Igbo nation. You get the point?
Yeah.
We don't have any budget. But then, we have to draft policies. And then, like I say, I recall you were there at the summit earlier in the year now. Because the President General of Ohanese, Senator General Zotambata, was there.
Yeah.
And his point was this: for us to move forward as a region, we must agree that we are one. in spite of having different states. You get the point? And that's why some even mention the issue of language as a binding factor. Because if you agree that we are one, then that's when Nibos na Izukama na Nage.
Yeah.
But Anani one umuna. You get the point? So that if we agree that we are bound as one people, then it will be easier for us to say, oh yeah, come, let's work together. For instance, now, Anambra and Delta can say they are neighbors, but Anambra and Enugu have more of a blood bond. You get the point? So the job of Oneze, which we are doing, has been to do to provide that framework whereby the 5 Southeast states should be able to come together. Apart from the SCDC, you have this Southeast Governors Forum.
Yeah.
Okay, which are supposed to come together. And then, if you watch in the past, it didn't start today. Oneze has always tried to engage this their forum to urge them, for instance, on the issue of security, on the issue of regional integration. But so Oneze is meant to do what? To be, because Oneze is actually a pressure group that urges them. Oneze, as I said, has no budget. But it urges the structures on ground to do what? Come together and collaborate for the common good. So that's what Oneze keeps doing, And I want to again urge our governors to do more to come together. I will say what to them by their word, because at that SADC summit, they said when last they had a meeting as a group. When last was that? Can you remember?
I can't recall, but I think it was in Enugu sometime, but I can't recall exactly when it was.
Okay. Okay. If you can recall, which means maybe it's not recent.
Not that recent, but it was sometime early this year, I guess.
Early this year, you guess. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make is this: our Southeast Governors Forum needs to work together more often, because they have a common mandate, regardless of their political parties. They are in charge of this region. They are the chief security officer of their state, and therefore the region. Okay, point. So you guys here, we cannot talk of economic development without the governors. They are at the driver's seat. You know the point? Especially Kisita, Ruichi, Hajo, they cannot work. But I was glad that they are action. So we expect them to now start putting into talk all these issues of what regional collaboration. Because you know why? In the past, when Sleban was governor of Enugu State here, there was a time Enugu State signed a contract with a Canadian firm owned by an Igbo man on a monorail. Anambra did. Abia did. Separate contracts. But at the end, none of them came to fruition. But imagine what will happen assuming the Southeast came together. I get to my point. And signed a common contract. It was made it easier to actualize. So I'm urging our governors, because at the end of the day, Oneze has no budget. But these governors, they get the allocation for the federal. And so far, from the momentum we've seen, like I say, well, I want to say this really. I think everybody, Governor Wifu needs to do more in his media. He's doing much more than is being reported.
Yes.
I'm saying it on air. Please, his media had last year. They are not doing enough. Yes. I also work in the media space. Yes. Of course, as for media, Enugu, Abia, they do much. Then also Anambra. But it seems to be underreported. I can tell you that one. Why am I saying this? Recently, because I, as a person, because of my being an online media publisher, because of that gap, I now visit the governor's Twitter handle, S handle. And I found out about 2 weeks ago now that the Nigerian Army Depot was launched in Eda. That's a military depot, means a military training facility for the other ranks. And that's the only one in the Southeast, or even in the East as a whole. But I didn't see it reported anywhere. I reported it because I had to go to the Twitter handle to pick that news. Because as of today, you now have a University of Aeronautical Engineering and Avionics in Ebonyi State as well. You get the point? Which is now on stream, and then in collaboration with sister institutions in Europe and America. But I won't be surprised if you're hearing it for the first time. So I'm saying Ebonyi is doing something nice, because one thing that was started by Sam Egu, because he was a lecturer, is this issue of human capital development, But as in Ebonyi trying to send their graduates overseas for postgraduate studies. Okay?
Yeah.
Because if I am to quote my brother and Oga Ike Koromadu, he said that education is a leveler, So those of us from this part of Igbo land, if we want to get close enough to Anambra, we're looking at fact, then we must invest more in education. Okay?
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad at what our governor here is doing as for the issue of education and human capital development. All right? But in the point, before, though the immediate past governor, Omahi, did so much as for infrastructure, you know, but human capital development comes first because all people, like somebody said, now the flavors are Gabania. You get the point? So I'm glad this governor Winfrey has come back to that issue of human capital development. You know, sending people abroad for scholarships.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can start to catch up with Enugu and with Anambra and other states. So as far, and again, I just found out also from his own Twitter space, because nowhere else reported that he has now boosted the quality of education at Ebonyi State University by cutting down, imagine, their tuition fee by 50%. Then by increasing the salaries of their ASU staff, I think by 50%, the non-academic staff by 25%. And then they now provided buses free for the students. So I'm saying they are also doing their own part, really.
There are some things they are doing. Yeah.
Yeah, but somehow Yagazie, it's been underreported.
Okay. You talked about Sandoye Gabania. It was the president who the other day said that governors should stop building unnecessary flyovers. Many of them think once you do gigantic projects like that physical infrastructure, people can see that when you begin to gain a lot of clout, right? Harmonizing what the regional vision is something that the SCDC has tried to do by that Southeast Vision 2050. But then the other thing is the political clouds to get the governors to buy into it. It's another thing entirely different from maybe what the SCDC can possibly get the governors to do. Who has that responsibility now to get the governors together, to get them and say, do this, commit to it, maybe put monies down for infrastructure, monorail or whatever that would go across the southeast, or tell the governor of Anambra State, do not build a second airport, you do not need it when you have an airport already, and then you have an airport in Enugu and all of that. Whose responsibility now in terms of political harmonization in the southeast? Where do you think that power lies?
Yeah. Number one, it is your job.
My job.
Yes.
Would the governors listen to me?
Wait, you are in the media.
Yeah.
All man listen to Urban Radio. And you've said it now that a second airport in Anambra, after the first one was built, is it up to 8 years ago? Then you now consider, like I say, what is the capacity utilization of the Anambra airport as of today? How many flights do you have that warrant anyone after how many years? Get the point?
Yeah.
So you know why it is the job of all of us. Number one, Yagazie, the Anambra, are they sleeping? Don't they have stakeholders in Anambra State? But is the issue of playing politics with everything? You get the point? If not, yes, I'm Ohanese, I'm Southeast. But then when anybody Anambra Wega, you get the point? What are they saying? Like I said, when last I checked, in Anambra you have people from various political parties. You have even the traditional rulers. You have even, I hope you know, like I said, I hope you know that in Southeast, Anambra is has the most diversified political coloration. If you go to the Senate, two senators from NDC, you have the top from ABGA. You get the point? If you come to our House of Assembly, you have people from various parties. So why can't they come out and speak? Like I say, in Anambra you have past governors, right? Yeah. Obiano is not yet dead. What of Ngige? Have they come out to say, okay, you have the elders there? Because like I say, these things are like in black and white. You get the point? The funds should be channeled into some other places. For instance, if you're going to announce you want to do something as per the seaport in Onitsha to make it more functional, I think to make more sense. You know why? You have so many importers who don't have to go to Lagos again to import. So if you now say you want to collaborate with other neighboring states now from Anambra to the Atlantic, to even to ensure that the Onitsha port has proper utilization, like I say, to make more sense. So I'm saying it is the job of all of us.
Yeah, but
starting from the Anambra.
In reality, who do the governors listen to? Because you can say it's the job of all of us, but we know that hardly do executives give a hoot about the things that we really care about. They have their agenda, they have their priorities. They might, act like they listen and make some concessions, but at the end of the day, their what is top on their mind drives their agenda. But I don't know if it's always been like
let me
that
make
in
a
the
point. Like I
trajectory
say,
of our
and
history
even
as a
sorry
people.
to say, so even
Yeah,
our Enugu State
yeah,
where we are in,
yeah,
name of ma, but what is okay, we can't get it all right.
yeah.
Hmm? There has been this about task no academic supposed to listen.
Yeah,
True of us.
true.
The other time they had to cut down some things.
Yeah.
That
They
also.
formed the committee, cut down
Thank
on some
you.
taxes,
Like I said,
some
because
land
we
and
took
all.
time, but there was
Yeah.
this constant moment. Even the general government, how about when you say na here no carry kwa? Ah, she.
Mm.
Oh no, another when you say na here no carry kwa. At the point, because he's a human being, he had to cut back. Like I say, the Anambra people who wear the shoes, let us see the more money. Because initially I thought it's not true. How can it be true? How can this be true? That when the airport at Anambra airport at Umueri was built, not up to 7 years ago, can this man be real?
Mm.
But now that it appears to be real, then the Anambra, what are they doing?
There's an airport in Ebonyi.
Or there was, or is it there is, or there was?
There
Is
is
there?
still the last time we saw it trend. Some people were holding a church service within the airport
Like I say,
building.
I hope you don't mind if I correct you.
Yeah.
There's a structure there that is meant to be an airport.
Yes.
But it's not an airport
Okay.
because it's not functional.
Mm.
You get the point?
Yeah, but the governor, as at that time, went on to build it, even though there were,
Thank
uproars about
you.
it, and
Now,
how the
like I say,
proximity
now,
of
now,
Enugu
now,
Airport to Ebonyi State.
now it's an
and all of
abandoned
that.
project.
Yeah.
Right? So, like I see what I'm saying. Anambra has a level of sophistication that had an university its own. Okay? Because if you talk of civil society activists, Lusabakoba is for Anambra State. Okoloku. Hmm? What of I can call them because they are all my comrades. So what is the issue? What is holding them? Okay, you can say in Anambra have NLC, right? Have even announced the activists. I'm saying as a person, I don't think Governor Soludo is an economist. And like I say, you talk of what you call scale of preference, right? Prioritization. Hmm? So if you talk of what Anambra needs now, Anambra needs what is spoke before now of being turned into a huge industry. Eh? Like I say, you know what I think Anambra should do, which I've told us others about. Anambra should have a continuous conurbation from Oka to Onitsha. Do you also what that means?
Continuous what?
Conurbation.
Okay.
Now from Oka to Onitsha should be one urban space. Like if you go to Lagos, most of Lagos now are all joined as an urban place.
Yeah.
Like I say, last I checked, if you are coming from Oka, then the urban area stops at Northia. You know, so it range of a stretch of like 15 or 18 kilometers to get that accomplished. That's the kind of thing I want the government to look at. You get the point? Yes, I said that last time I checked. From Oka, it stretched up to North. You know, that's where it gets to maybe even Okozo. So that stretch is just about maybe to focus as how can.
It should be one long stretch from Onisha from Oka to Onisha.
Thank you, sir. With the infrastructure, and it is by policy. And then, like I say, the SCDC also has a role to play. You know what I want the SCDC to do? So as to get these governors to listen. SCDC, they've not been working with civil society.
Okay.
I'm informing them, I'm informing my brother Toby Kechuku, and even the young man, what's his name again?
Marco Kure.
Because I had the complaint from the civil society in Southeast, all these red is that the SCDC, they are there to come and really parley with them, and so there can be an engagement. Yeah, so asking who can make the governors to listen. Yeah, the civil society can do that well enough. If SCDC closes gaps with civil society, that's I expect like my own group, that is Southeast Good Governance Project. You know what you do? You have what we call a peer review mechanism. For instance, now, like you see the way I analyze the issue of education among the Southeast states. It's based on data available from the states. So no government will say that we are speaking against him. Okay? Because if you're not speaking in terms of infrastructure, we look at the infrastructure in the 5 states. And then you also consider needs. We'll do a needs assessment. Like the issue of its own airport in Anambra. Is it needed now? And we know what the answer will be. And then you come to Ebonyi. After all the flyover did by Omahe, in fact, he did like 3, even in his hometown, Uburu. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Then you need more flavors in Ebonyi now. Like I said, I thought, like that's why this issue of FSM, that is spot on.
Yeah.
Industrialization. This cement come from that axis can help in the whole of the southeast. But like I said, I spent a part of my early life in Abakaliki.
Okay.
You get the point? Yes, in primary school, primary 1 and 5, I came to Ekulu. Then under the old Enugu State, I did my presence at ESU then, because then I was under Enugu State. You get it?
Yeah.
So, but you see the issue of rice. Like I say, since I was born, we know about getting Abakaliki rice. Okay? But I expect the Aboriginal government to take it further. To build the value chain around the rice. Not to guide your rice. What other products can come from rice to empower the boy? You get the point? That's what we expect, to take it higher. As at the time I was born 74, I was born today. Rice, we're saying, let this same government today take it higher on the value chain. You know, there are some stars that come from rice. Okay? That will now be value addition to the rice value chain.
Okay.
So I'm saying, like I say, everybody should focus more on where it has it good enough, where it has that competitive advantage. It is which is what? Agriculture.
Okay.
And then mineral resources. We have limestone there. We have so many other mineral resources we have within Ebonyi State. If I'm to be from that part of the southeast, I'll focus on agriculture, based on agro-industrialization, and also the mineral resources value chain.
And that's why we need a holistic leadership for the entirety of the Southeast, because it will tell you where your priorities are, and then you would agree and decide to focus money on those things. There are some people who have called on this radio sometimes to say, why are we building a tunnel in Fanco where there isn't too
Any
much
traffic.
traffic in the first place, and the state government is committing a lot of money to building that instead of putting it into, like what you said,
Agriculture is there.
the value chain in agriculture
Yes.
in Ebonyi State. Some people have faulted that particular policy drive of the Ebonyi State government, and the previous administration, we talked about how he built an airport and all of those things. Some people would say, those things were not priority at the time, but the state government felt it was priority and decided to carry out, a lot of development in those areas with the, monies accruing to the state. We know the things that should be done, right? Most of the time.
Like I say, sorry, I think I have a way forward.
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah. That's what I want to ask you.
Yes. You know the NCDC.
Yes.
They must wake up to their responsibility. It doesn't matter whether my brother Toby is there, whether the young man is there too. Like I say, I'm telling them now, they've not been engaging with Southeast Civil Society stakeholders. They've not been engaging. And it's wrong. They cannot succeed unless they engage. Because, like I say, it is the civil society that will tell you in black and white, look at how it is, you get the point. And then we'll be able to do the analysis.
Yeah, but the SEDC only has, so much, funds to do what they have to do, and they have to spread it across the
No,
five
like I
states.
said, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're not even talking of funding.
Yeah.
We're saying if they engage with the civil society in the southeast, we'll be able to help them to push this point. Because you know why?
Okay.
SCDC, they also have their own limitations. You know why? Well, they're government agency, right? Is that not so? Yes. But civil society, we are meant to be an interface between the demand and the supply side, between the government and the people. So we can come out and on the table, just as you saw how I analyze the issue of education, on the issue of infrastructure. We'll lay bare that way on this. That's why I said based on data from the state government. You get the point. So, boy, Imo, Abia, Inu cannot say we are lying against them because we are using the data we have. Because if you not say which government has built more roads, look at it. Get the point. Which government has more health centers? Look at it. Which government has more smart schools? Look at it. It will not be Bismarck, Yagazie speaking, but it will be it's based on the fact you gave us. So I'm saying, Yagazie, SCDC must sit up and engage with the civil society because there are some things SCDC will not say.
All right.
What you say, maybe next time they will not get their funding properly.
Okay.
But the civil society will come and say it on their behalf in a way that nobody will get hurt. But we will say, Your Excellencies, look at the facts available.
Yeah.
Okay, what of the issue of abandoned projects? Look at what of the issue of prioritization of projects. By the time we do that way, like I say, I will keep engaging the government because, as you say, governors in Nigeria, they are very, very influential. But you know what? That's why I give the instance of the Enugu State government and the issue of the cry of people about taxation.
Yeah.
People kept saying, "I'm bad enough, mama, na tax akaria." At the point, you have to listen. So young they know what we need to do. Number one, engage. There should be engagement between the SCDC and the civil society to avoid ways of trying to do to engage continuously. Because even if we miss at the end of every month, we bring out our report. Everybody in the Kwenka, if the government want to speak, say, your excellency is based on the fact before us. Can you counter this fact? Like people will say, go and verify. Okay. You can say, I know next month, they got the fact. But it's 4 or 5 months. He'll be touched. You got that? Okay. You can say, sorry, if you don't come to like the issue of security or insecurity. You had the so to make a statement that now not and forever on and we hold up, which means that the sister at home on Monday is gone. It's a plus. Before you can travel to the Southeast on a Monday, but today even that buses enter the Southeast on Mondays. So it's a plus for the zone. But I'm saying if you now want to look at the issue of insecurity across the 5 Southeast states now, based on facts, you have to go. Based on what have they been able to do to treat the matter before them, based on this issue of non-state actors. You got that. They will be acting based on statistics. Right. Which you have at our disposal.
Mazi Bismarck, let's go for our news break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Thank you so far, so good. We are discussing the Regional Cooperation and Development Southeast in Focus, and Mazi Bismarck is with me, the Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the Hanis Indigba, the convener of the Southeast Goods Project. We'll be right back.
From the capital of the Southeast to the world.
Good morning and welcome to Urban Radio News Update in 94.5 seconds. The Nigeria Union of Journalists, Ebonyi State Council, has called on security agencies and the state government to fish out and prosecute those who attacked its members in Ikwato, Idembia, Ezza South local government area of the state. Kwara State Government has announced that 176 persons abducted during the February 3rd, 2026 attack on Woro and Nuku communities in Kayama local government area of the state have regained their freedom. The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has released the results of the 2026 West African Senior School Certificate Examination for school candidates. Dangote Petroleum Refinery has announced the reduction in the ex-depot prices of petrol and diesel to 1,215 naira per litre and 1,570 naira per litre, respectively, with the new prices taking effect from today, August 6, 2026. The federal government has declared a zero-tolerance policy against violence targeting health workers and has ordered the immediate implementation of measures aimed at improving the safety and security of medical personnel across the country. In sports, Nigeria Super Falcons have qualified for the quarterfinals of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations after thrashing Egypt 6-2 in a dominant display. On entertainment, popular Nigerian rapper and actor Faust has explained why he stepped away from active legal practice, citing the growing demands of his music career. You're up to the minutes in 94.5 seconds.
From the capital of the Southeast to the world.
This is Welcome back, still the Urban Parliament on Urban Radio 94.5 FM. 51 minutes gone past 9. Mazi Bismarck Oji is with us in the studio. We are looking at the need for regional cooperation in development, the Southeast in focus, building from the Philips Consulting Index, Momentum Index reports 2026 that's ranked 33 and two Southeast states made it to the top five in terms of momentum in development, in governance reforms, in fiscal discipline, in institutional capacity, and we are talking about how the Southeast can collaborate to push a collective agenda as a region. Mazi Bismarck has shared his thoughts and tried to outline what he believes are the challenges and how they can be addressed. We'll open up the phone lines and have you join us in this conversation. Share your ideas. Let's cross pollinate our divergent views. 0916 000 4945. 0916 000 4945. You can send in a message on WhatsApp 09128945945. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Karimo.
Morning, sir.
After Karimo, and I go for a book, of the truth, if our governor, sorry, governors to come together. But the differences in politics will not allow them. They are protecting their political parties more than the interest of people. That's the problem we have. Additionally, they can come together to work as one people, as a people, and as a Southeast. So, what this might take, you have spoken what all of us are speaking now. But what the issue is that can they come together as one people, as brothers, to make sure that we have a good life here, have a development here, irrespective of the party line. But they're not doing it. People have said that I'm making, people have said that I'm Afghan, people have said that I'm another party. They're not one. So the issue is that we have know what to do to make sure that we develop like others, as brothers. But political differences will not allow them. So this is that they will have many areas to develop. Whenever I travel, I always see massive land, forest, like Palo. What is being done there? The lot of that is. Why can't that place be turned into a farming place so that people will be employed? When they can come together and build industry, it's not industry in the Kalag is no more working. Apop is no more working. All these places we know before that you are working during the time of Jim Weber, you know the number of them are no more working. Because of political interest, we can come together and share political interest and make sure that all this is the path and start working. Our people will have employment, our people will develop as time with others. We'll be very happy. Let them fight about politics and come together as brothers so that they move forward like others. After Karimo.
Karimo, thank you for joining us. 0916 000 4945. Call in, share your thoughts. 0916 000 4945. Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir.
I think that's it.
IK from where? From Independence Layout. Welcome. Go ahead.
Good morning. Okay. It sounds like you have not been part of the kind of organizing people president. Because I think our organizing people they are supposed to make some formations for Igbo people to follow. Set agenda. All the governors will align with it. But what we have been experiencing from our region has been different. All the governors in Southeast, any day you see them gather, it's about P2B. How nobody will go, we should forget this year, 2027, and we align with 2031. Which means people in politics, politicians are hijacked. When politicians are the ones monitoring them what to tell us. You see them gather at Abuja, telling the president to carry on that he's doing what they want him to. Are they really speaking for us? Because it's not about the governors. Governors are in different entities from different states. What we have Oha means Dinara, and Ndibo means they're the ones speaking for us. It sounded differently this morning. That is why at least this first time I'm hearing it, this first time I had it too. So is that perhaps they should be the one to any political formation that we need. Perhaps they should champion. They should be from politicians. They should be politicians alone. You can't be speaking for us what are they?
All right.
They
they should leave it to be, because all the governors, or any day they gather, they are speaking from they say it's about people to be started at 2031. That is where their interest lies, not how to develop it.
All right. Thank you for joining us. 0916 0004945. Keep the calls coming. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this topic you people brought to the table this month for us to respond. It's very important and all of us to contribute to it. So the major reason is thank God. I'm not thank God. I appreciate God for making me to go and serve in the north and learn politics there. What I learned is helping me today. Even the different election positions elected positions I won, it's through that knowledge. What the governors for the South is what they're suffering now is what's called political emancipation and mental liberation. Yes, they know that they like the reason why most of them they can't come together and agree on one point. If they believe that if they come together and agree on one point and within those things they agree that will help Southeast, those in political power like the ruling party or this thing, they will not be listening to them again, and they will now make it that maybe they are going against them. For instance, if you watch, look at the politicians in the north, governors in the north, they have what's called mental position. Likewise in the southwest. How many governors in the north have written that come and be sending to Tinubu? Yes, many of them like will deliver 2 million votes to you, will deliver to you. They can start on their own, governors in the north, they can start on their own because they know that yes, there are people don't vote in they can tell their people that their people can vote based on whatever the northerners have to choose. They can vote on that, and they have more political liberation and mental liberation. They don't want the Southeast. They can't. And the reason why, like, when someone say why Mr. Tito or not Mr. Tito, even when Mr. Tito was the governor of this state, he's not championing it. Yes, together with those governors, they can agree on one point and even do one point to lead as the example. So if Hadid now, that this people that say Nigeria will do this one, will do this one, Hadid is there from this Southeast, mobilized because you know that he has crowd from this Southeast, put his home base, and gather more crowd and he starts gathering people to come as regional. He will make impact in that direction. From there, he will continue that the particular direction so that you have a regional collaboration, integration, and uniting to achieve one particular goal, but it's not even doing that one. The talking of Nigeria that is more elaborate and the Nigerian complex problem is so complex. That's what is challenging his mind. But this one that is home base, when he has a competitive advantage, to unite, to gather crowd, to lead by example, he's not doing that one. So, if you think about this Southeast, I don't know whether it's this because of this issue of civil war or some other nation. We should regulate ourselves mentally. Once you don't regulate yourself mentally, you have not regulated yourself from anything. So that's the people when these governors are suffering. Yes, they have not liberated themselves. Political emancipation and mental liberation from politics. And they can, knowing how to stand on your words, especially what is right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for joining us, Osman, the chemistry teacher. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. We'll quickly go pay bills, and then we'll come back to take more calls. Please stay tuned.
Station.
Welcome back to the calls coming. We're discussing the Southeast regional development, the need for cooperation amongst the states here. 0916 0004945. Don't forget you can send in a message on WhatsApp 09128945945. Hello, good morning. Hello? All right, 0916 0004945. Hello? Good morning. Good morning, sir. Your name and location. Okay.
And I brought the time. Can we still open Igbo and I want this last regime as they came with a guitar. And one of them how the words of an answer because the end you put how words of an answer what now or to get to be done and as the order could not be individual activity here. Hey, the British take a hundred Sunday Bolil, okay, Uro Pukaine would have 1 point. But in the Igbo. Ili was even if present and as a present of an as a president was help us one that support. I put it late defend Igbo region. But we have 100 in the Igbo region. Getting president but then pray hope president as la Hama from due to in 2027. Always so to Igbos. The European India order secretary condemn when you only Utraka governors and get speak against Igbos, a coup against the people, and yeah, for or condemn. That everybody oh yeah, and after condemn when you need our for what makes it what agreement time. Oh yeah, Maribo, you know, that is so common to Ndibo, Igbo. Always dressed on Igbo. And the buy and a half was here from Iowa forums. American who against Iowa, who against the we find it no harm weekend. So, how do you but I could say what they from others. No.
Okay. Good morning to you. Hello. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
My name is Ibu from
Okay.
You are discussing about the regional development, which Southeast is part of it. Am I right?
The Southeast, particularly, is the region we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Southeast Development Commission. I think if there is sincerity among the working members, it will pave way to bring development in this system. And again, a body must be instituted within that commission whose work is oversight function to make sure that the work being carried out by these working members are properly done. If nothing is done on that, I think there must be a setback in relation to the development. And again, togetherness, understanding among governors is very important because it will pave way for them to work in synergy to work against the economic and the security challenges ravaging this state. Because if they do, particularly on security challenges, it will pave way for foreign investors to come in. So it will bring development in that sense. And again, road infrastructure matters a lot because if there is road infrastructure, it will pave way to agricultural development.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Aris from Enugu.
Welcome.
All right, let me start by saying that I think I have come to observe something, concerning the Southeast. And one of the things I observe is from the current level that are really not in Southeast is that, academic qualification does not translate to class. But if academic qualification translates to class, I think we have a prof, as the governor of Anambra State. And some of the things, some of the policies, I'm beginning to question myself. Is this a solution that we all do? Well, someone like Soludo embarking on, airport projects, considering the fact that I don't think it's going to improve the economy of Anambra State. You need to question, is it the same Soludo that was the CBN governor back then? Is it the same Soludo? And then I cannot see any class from Soludo as a governor. Having said that, I think the whole Southeast governors should come together and let there be an economic integration between the whole Southeast state. I thank God for what the Abia state is doing, and the Enugu state also. In our brothers, we have tax is so high in Enugu state. I see a massive transformation in Enugu state. Anybody who say in Enugu state who say that he's not seeing anything the government is doing, maybe it's not saying the truth. So we can see transformation in Enugu state. You understand? So let there be an integration between all these two, all the Southeast states. I think this back, there was a time Peter Mbati state, Abia state. But they should have a plan if they can consult a rail that will go Southeast. Apart from rail, and they're talking about seaports in Abia state. If they can consult, but Southeast Government Commission should center their focus on the things that is going to improve the Southeast and the region. That seaport is very, very important for us. The reason why Lagos is what Lagos is today is because anything here in Nigeria is coming through Lagos. If they can give us report in either Abia state or Anambra state, very big on it. They put us Southeast will grow.
All right, Teresa, thank you. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Good morning, Yagas.
Good morning, Sir Bernard.
Yeah, my name is Sir Bernard from Transit. Yagas, every day I keep on, I've been worried. Why is it that we don't, that committee, Southeast Development Committee, why is it that they don't, the composition, I don't think there is a woman there. Why is it that they cannot, does it mean we don't have competent women?
I don't know the makeup. I think there are women in the makeup of the staff of the Southeast Development Commission. There are of course women there.
Staff, not the actual committee.
It's a commission actually, not a committee.
Okay, you just let me land.
All right.
I believe that I am thinking that it is time we try women. Look, we have competent women, very knowledgeable, like this woman, Oti, that returning officer, that refused to compromise. That was why Oti, of governor of Abia State, was able to get incentive. Why let us try all these women? They are, at least, most of our women are not corrupt, unlike men. You see, anywhere corruption thrives, there will not be development there.
All right.
Anywhere corruption is in all the sectors, there won't be, and do anything you like, you will never achieve any good result.
All right, Savannah, thank you for joining us. We'll have to take a look at the messages on WhatsApp. This one says, this is Justin. Please, I'm an Ebonyi State University student. There is nothing like free buses like your guest mentioned. Here in EBSU, I don't know if they have a PhD in abandoning infrastructure. You quickly hear old this and new that, but if you check the old this, it's even better than the new that. Here, the school has a science laboratory in their permanent site, but all the campuses, both the CAS, Presco, PEM sites, we all have our practicals at Presco campus. I've tried finding the reasons to this, but nothing. Your guest also mentioned he's prioritizing human capital development. Yagazi, I think we all should understand that the media is not where You should go, but go to the people. Today, Ebonyi has gone back to the Stone Ages. It's very painful. What we suffer in payments here in this school is something else. You can't even imagine. Let me stop here until the day we are ready for this conversation because I can go on and list the promises made by the governor that were never achieved, all in halves or less quality. This is Justin, all right? This one says, good morning, I'm Eke Henry Chinosu from Sude Vision 2050, very achievable. The Southeast has all it takes to become one of Africa's strongest economic regions, but that can only happen if the five governors see themselves as partners rather than competitors. Development should not stop a state or should not stop at the state borders. Good roads connecting the states, improve security, industrial clusters, reliable power, and common investment policies will benefit everyone. Investors don't see boundaries, they look for infrastructure, stability, and a business friendly environment. If Enugu succeeds, while Imo, Abia, Anambra, and Ebonyi struggle, the region as a whole cannot reach its full potential. The Southeast Development Commission's Vision 2050 is ambitious and commendable, but achieving a $200 billion economy will require unity, transparency, accountability, and continuity beyond politics. This one says, good morning. Thank you for today's topic, regional development and cooperation using the Southeast as a case study. Many of our leaders here love playing politics than thinking of developments that will benefit the entire masses within this region. Let me react to just one aspect. How many of the present governors will accept the proposal of His Excellency Alex Oti on rail network for this region? If they think of something that will be of good interest to the greater percentage of the population, this rail network proposal will be adopted and seen to be a reality, as it will reduce the burden on our roads, thereby making our roads to last longer as we reduce cost of transportation for our people. We are just unfortunate. Oliver, reaching you from Abakaliki. All right, this one says, great job from Achara Layout on the issue of regional cooperation in the Southeast. I doubt it will be possible due to the differences in political party interests. Political parties in Nigeria today operate like secret societies that treat their opponents as enemies. Even though 4 out of 5 governors in the Southeast have declared support for the president's mandate out of their own interest, it does not inspire any confidence in the citizens. This one says, good morning. On the issue of regional collaboration among Southeast states, the SCDC is a big enabler, and there must be a unity of direction among the governors to actualize growth and shared prosperity in economic transformation, in transportation, rail and seaport. We must drive development above others in Nigeria because wise men always come from the east. This is Nicholas Ibe from Imeziowa. And lastly, this one says, good morning, Yusuf from Enugu. Good morning. I must confess that Ohanese has failed to set the agenda for the Igbo race. I have wondered why we only often hear the Eze, but never about what affects the Oha. That may explain why Ohanese only shows up each time an election is near to literally campaign for the Ezes in the government house. The reason why most Igbos don't take them seriously. Having said that, if there is no synergy and a clear agenda for the Igbos, I fear we may continue to be treated as second-class citizens in Nigeria, no matter what achievements or whatever achievements we think that the governors are recording. Well, as Bismarck, I'll come back to you so that we'll see if you can react to this in the little time that we have left. What are your thoughts about those who have, made comments about setting the agenda for the governors and the duty of the Ohanese itself?
Okay. Thank you. Firstly, like I say, please, I want to make the African a corrigendum.
Okay.
Yes. Apart from my Abia State,
Mm-hmm.
Enugu also now has a disability commission. I just found that now, and it's okay. It came on stream in November last year, headed by Barrister Sunday Ebo. Then going on to the comments made so far. Honest, as I said, has virtually no budget, and rather Honest works as a pressure group. You get the point? Works on goodwill. But what I believe Honest can keep doing is to urge our governors who were elected to work their talk based on the agreement at the SCDC summit in April, and they will collaborate with each other. But we cannot go forward unless they come for that synergy. You know what is called economy of scales. By the time the five come together, then it will be easier for them to embark on original projects like power. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
I'm glad now Governor Mbai is now also, Enugu State Governor Mbai is trying to dwell on the issue of power generation using our coal. Because every day I see trucks moving coal. The coal is still there.
Mm.
So I'm glad if, because of course, my first course, what I did is engineering, electrical, okay? So I know about what is called energy mix. Every country has their own energy mix.
Okay.
So you don't get power from just one source. So, and it was since we have coal here, it should be used to power our state and our industries. And it's been done. I see what is happening in Abia based on geometric. We are on our bad energy. Get the point?
Yeah.
We just had the 70th birthday the other day. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, it would be nice also if Ebonyi, Imo, and Anambra also see what they can do with that issue of power generation, because that will then lead to what? Industrialization. Okay? But having said that, what happens most is the issue of what? Prioritization of projects based on what? Our competitive advantage.
Okay.
Ebonyi must do more on agriculture, especially the rice value chain. Then the issue of Niger Sem, the cement company, is a plus. I commend that to them because we need to see more industrial activity in Ebonyi State. Okay, because if we have our own cement from that axis, even though I'm also advocating collaboration between Enugu and Ebonyi, because we also have a huge limestone deposit across the border in Amechi Dodo. Then we will be self-sufficient, at least in the area of cement, okay, for our construction industry. So what I'm saying is that, again, SCDC, we commend them, but they need to do more. They need to work more closely. From what I know, because I'm part of civil society, being the governor of Southeast Governor Project, they're here to do that. I'm saying SCDC, you need to engage more with civil society. But that way, it will be easier for us to collaborate and then be able to engage our governors. You get the point? Yeah, because the governors are the people who have the mandate, who have our pulse. But we can't say we won't engage them, we keep doing so. Because the more we engage them, the more there will be results. You know?
Yeah.
Because every 4 years, they go to get their mandates renewed. You know? So, but we don't have to wait for 4 years till we engage them. So we keep engaging them, hoping that as we engage them, things, they will at least bend a bit and then listen to the masses. And then again, I found out now, online during the break, that the issue of the second airport in Anambra, Dr. Lomefo, the Anambra State Commissioner for Information, said that is not true. So for now, let's believe what he said. Okay?
That it's not true.
Yes, that is a proposal. But what I also found out online, because I asked AI, that the governor has done several upgrades at the existing airport at Umueri. But then the issue of another airport at Ndikeleon, that is still a proposal. So that's why it's good to balance our facts.
A proposal that is getting serious consideration, and the Anambra State government themselves have talked about it. So,
Yeah, but the Commissioner for Information said that it's not true, that it's just a proposal, that we're here to go there. So, guys, you know what I suggest? I will talk with my colleagues, those of the civil society sector in Anambra, so that they can engage more and then be able to talk more with the governor, who is a professor of economics, to ensure that the issue of priority is important. Like I said, getting the seaport up and running, to having better utilization is more important than a new airport. So for now, what the government said is what we believe, or to have reason to believe otherwise. So on a final note, we believe that the Southeast will do better if our governors remember the pledge they made to Ndibo, the Southeast people, at the SCDC summit in April, that they want to collaborate. We're here to see that happening. And what them, and again, I urge the SCDC, my view is this. Some were saying SCDC should start doing roads, start doing hospitals. I said no. What should our governors do? What should even the local government chairman do? The SCDC has the duty of looking at mega projects, call them signature projects. Like I say, if they embark on such, let me say maybe the issue of a regional power project, the SCDC, of course, they may not have enough funding, but like I say, as a regional body, they can be able to collaborate with all these foreign donor agencies. You get the point? Like the World Bank and what have you now, because it's a regional body. Such bodies might want to work with them so as to do what? Fund such projects. So the NCDC is meant to do what? To provide a regional framework, you know, not to go into such basic things like healthcare centers or schools. No, the governors and the local government chairman should do those ones. So all in all, the NCDC, the Southeast Development Commission, Southeast Governors Forum, and the Ohanese should be able to work together to help so that the Southeast will be able to, through collaboration, leverage on what is called economy of scales.
Okay.
That way, we will have a more prosperous Southeast where our infrastructure works. Finally, I want to mention what I mentioned before, the issue of policy concurrence. Whereby, if you see a good policy in Enugu, because the other states should key in, okay? Like this issue of smart school. We now have smart school in Enugu, Anambra, and Abia. We're urging Imo and Ebonyi to key in. Then there are some other things the other states are doing also. The other states should try to do what? After that, what? Policy concurrence, which I believe NCDC should drive. And then the civil society, if the NCDC engages civil society, will help to, because it's our job and we know how to make the government to realize they have to do this or that, because we work with the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Master Bismarck Oji, thank you for your insights on the program today. It's all about collaboration and, moving the people forward. But even if they choose to do it individually, they should at least do it to the point where, the development agendas that they're driving are fulfilled, right, in their individual states. So
Exactly.
but that collaboration is very much needed. Thank you so much. Master Bismarck Oji is the International Publicity Secretary of the Ohanese and the convener of the Southeast Good Governance Project. Thank you so much for your time.
There we go.
Thank you, parliamentarians. It's a wrap on the program today. We will do this again tomorrow, same time, same station, 9 a.m.